It's season 2, and now you're tuning in to the Women Unplugged podcast.
So we're about to roll into that juicy topic of the day, which is unprotected Black women, right? So we all know that this is sparking from Megan Thee Stallion getting shot by Tory Lanez. So she says it was allegedly Tory Lanez. Okay, and we just been getting so many mixed messages and signals from fans, critics, tabloids as to what was really happening. Was it a publicity stunt? We got the bodyguard shot her? I'm in entertainment a little bit. I thought that they was just at a Kylie Jenner's little pool party. I think they all got a little drunky, tipsy, flirty. Somebody got maddie, and it may have escalated. That's my honest opinion. But, you know, she also went on to Saturday Night Live with a powerful message on how Black women needing to just be protected more from Black men and just our communities, right? So what do you ladies think about when it really comes to are Black women protected in society? Lavina, I want to get your take on this because I know you have a lot to say.
Okay, so first of all, I feel like it is true across the board for all women of color, but yes, specifically Black women. And I say this, and I know I've mentioned it like 100 times, but when you watch the news or you see people go missing, or you're looking on a milk carton, or you walk into the police station and, you know, they have the wall of all the missing persons. Very rarely do we see those Black women on the news.
Right.
Very rarely do you hear a story, read it in the newspaper. It's just not something that happens very often. And when it does, it's normally because it's somebody who's already known, right? They've created some sort of traction for themselves. They've created some sort of name, and now we feel like it's important, i.e. Megan Thee Stallion.
Right.
Everybody loves her. Everybody loves her attitude. Everybody loves the way, you know, she just rides for the culture.
Right.
And so she experienced this horrifying event. And it started off just being something happened to her in general. She didn't mention any names.
Right.
It just started off, this was the event that happened to her, and she kind of let it be what it was. The thing that brings it to the truth about Black women being unprotected is the fact that once the truth comes out, there is no one who comes forward to back up and stand up with her with the story. Like, to me, I don't care who house you at, but why hasn't Kylie Jenner said anything?
Hello.
That's odd to me. Y'all supposed to be friends. I'm at your house. You know, we doing what we do. We kicking it.
I'm saying.
And it's like crickets.
Big facts.
It's like crickets.
That.
Nobody has anything to say, and that's confusing to me, but it is also a norm. And it has been a norm created by society. And unfortunately, because of the European standards of beauty, people just don't think Black women or women of color are as beautiful, therefore not as important.
Exactly.
That's my opinion.
Wow. It's so true. It's so sad. Just in this culture that we live in, that Black women, we can't just be Black. You know, we have so many things behind us being Black women, you know, that, and the crazy thing about this is this has been going on forever.
Girl.
You know, I just love that Lavina said that Kylie didn't say anything. You know, and it's probably multiple people that were there.
Yeah.
Didn't say anything. And we don't know what truly happened. We weren't there. But we know something happened.
For her to have a bullet in her foot, I'm saying.
And why is it okay that we're okay with it? Why is it okay that we are not behind her, supporting her in this? Like, it's just, it's mind-blowing. I just, and it really kind of pisses me off a little bit because I've been in domestic violence relationships, and I know even on the other side, like you say, Candy, looking at it on the other end where women have lied about domestic situations, but in this situation, why aren't we behind her? Why aren't we supporting her in this?
And that's the thing, because it's supposed to be like innocent until proven guilty, right? So as soon as she comes forward and she says, this is the story, this is the truth of what happened to me, then it should be she's telling the truth.
Hello.
Until somebody else can present some sort of evidence that makes it not true. And not just word of mouth, and not just a song, and not just an album.
Come on.
So you can pretend like, you know, whatever.
Not
like,
capitalizing off of the
Yes,
So
off of
goofy.
the pain.
Yeah. So that really goes to one of the points that I was trying to make as far as like we are as safe as our perception. Those stigmas, those perceptions, those characteristics that are associated with the Black women that they try to justify our ill treatment. You know, that we're angry, or that we dress a certain type of way, or that we're asking for it, or that we do have a tendency to engage or lie about what's really going on. Because one of the things that really raised the question was the fact that the doctor had to come forth and say, hey, it was the doctor that had to come forth with the truth of the story to kind of get the ball rolling instead of Megan. Megan was quiet.
Yes.
And I feel
Protecting
like a lot
a
of
Black
that,
man
right.
again.
And once
Period.
again, I was just about to say,
How we're
once
expected to
again,
be.
it's that double-edged sword where we're protecting the Black man, but that also goes down to why they have a tendency to always have such a hard time with believing our stories, regardless of if it's facts and evidence that it did happen.
Literally.
Well, we have to start really just holding ourselves accountable to like, hey, yes, I care for the Black woman, but I care for myself too.
Yes.
I have to start coming to the forefront when things are happening to me, or I'm being treated illy, or when something has happened to me, even if it is on behalf of a partner that I love or a Black counterpart. It's hard, but it happens, right? And like you said, it's something that's overlooked so often that when it does happen to you, the most important thing you can do is step forth. Yeah. And it's sad because we don't a lot of times get that support. And I'm going to go to that next point, or next question, should I say, which is, what do you think Black men can really do to just make and help Black women feel more protected in our community?
Honestly, I think that throughout history, like period, Black women have never really been protected by men in general, Black men or white men. And this is like a very new conversation. So I think Black men, like anybody that's woken up to the realization like, dang, Black women are beautiful. I see men like that all the time. This is a goddess in front of me. Everything about her is perfectly okay. And I have to accept that. Like those men deserve or need to mentor other men. You know what I'm saying? Like these conversations shouldn't be had by us. It should be had by them, because this is not something like throughout history, women were never really protected by men. I'm reading this book right now by it's about this woman who was the Buffalo Soldier, the original Buffalo Soldier, and literally became a Civil War hero because she faked being a man to fight for the nation and free Black people.
Like
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? The fact that she had to fake being a man to free Black, that in and of itself is proof that we were never protected. You know what I'm saying? So, I feel like that's one thing that Black men can do is if you feel like you love Black women and Black women are queen, like you need to share that information as much as people are talking about Becky. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Right. and being able to actually to appreciate the characteristics of the Black woman physically, mentally, spiritually without sexualizing us. I am so tired of that's one of the biggest stigmas and ideals that have been attached to Black women or women of color that allows for us to be, I'm going to just say, so easily disrespected by men because they don't respect something that's not challenging, or they don't respect something that's too easy. And with that image of us constantly being perpetrated on media, that's the image that people in India or people in other parts of the world who've never come encounter with Black women are looking at and have accepted that to be truth, because that's the perception that is being globally imprinted in their mind subconsciously. So what are two things, or what is something that you would feel like Black men can do specifically, Lavina, and then you, that, you know, would help women feel more protected in our communities or just in general?
Teach your son.
Yes.
Teach your son. Like, how many Black men do we have out here? And Black men are some of the most regal, most feared people in the world. Is a Black man, which is why, you know, we come forth, women of color, Black women, all women coming forward to protect Black men because of how special and important they are. That's why they try to remove them from the household so much, is because they are so important in what they stand for and who they are. So teach your son. You know, we out here, we're creating legacy, we're doing what we do, expanding families, etc. teach your son to have those conversations and why it's important. One, to protect women in general. And then two, why you protect somebody that looks like your mother.
Right.
Why do you protect somebody that looks like your mom, but you treat the person that you're dating who looks like your mom a completely different way? Like somehow the equation doesn't match. So teach your son, have the conversation.
It's so crazy that you say that, because I have to talk about my current relationship. My boyfriend's relationship with his father is immaculate. Like, I love it.
That's great.
Even if it's something that he's telling him to do with our relationship, I know that it's still something of, you know, of goodness. You know, it is so important. And even like, say if it's, I'm not touching a door, and I always say, would your mom want you not to open this door for me? You know, so I think we as women, we have to be responsible for what we allow. And what we teach. It is so important because we are allowing men to treat us the way they want. You know, and I think, and then it's just so crazy just thinking about parents and their sons.
I can't wait. I'm telling you.
It's conditioning.
I can't wait. It's like,
that's exactly what it is. It's conditioning. We have a tendency as women to do it in our relationships. We have a tendency to definitely do it with our sons. Okay? We do it. We can't help it. It's that nurturing woman in us. And like you said, with them being so feared and we knowing the reality it is for them when they get older, or the reality they have to face every day as a black man, we condition them to be babies or to be super, super aggressive or super strong and not express their emotion. So either it's one extreme or the other, and it has an adverse effect. So for me, I think one of the things that they can really start doing is start giving us women, the benefit of the doubt. Just because I look a certain way doesn't mean that I am a certain way.
Give us grace.
Just because
Give us grace.
you have a certain perception of what I may be does not mean you really are judging the book by the cover. And nowadays it's so hard because a lot of us have adopted, especially with the new millennial, or just new ideals, period, where we may wear the weave. We may wear the lashes. We may wear the makeup. We may wear the skimped outfits. We may wear the colored wigs. We may do a lot of the things that the more...
But the white girls doing it too.
Like the...
Facts.
But there was a point in time that when
Also
like our
facts.
grandparents was up, like only specific type of women did that in our community.
True.
Is what I'm saying. The more promiscuous women in our community did that. And at a certain point in time, and it's a generational shift now where it's just kind of the thing. The long nails, the colored wigs, it's that thing that used to only be for like more promiscuous women or more fast lifestyle women. It's now kind of like the status quo in the millennial. I don't want you to look at me differently just because I wear weave and I got my nails done stiletto style and I got on these high heels with this tight neon colored outfit. You see what I'm saying? I want you to still give me the same benefit of the doubt that I would give you standing in front of the street corner with your boys. You may not, I could think that you're a drug dealer or about to run up to my car and break in it, or I could think you're a regular person just out there conversing with your boys because you're off today. You see what I'm saying? I want you to give us the same benefit of the doubt that women always constantly give in our relationships and our friendships and our business associations when it comes to dealing with black men in the community. That's all I think we should do. And the second and last thing that I'm going to leave the segment off is just giving us the benefit of the doubt to believe when we come and ask for help. That's the biggest thing.
That's a big one.
The biggest thing is having enough courage to say, you know what? I'm going to go ask for help today. Or you know what? I'm going to tell my story. And no one believing you for telling your truth. That's damaging. And that will prevent someone from ever coming out and saying something that could help anybody or getting help for themselves again. So thank you, ladies, so much because this is something that is really, really like a touchy subject in our community. And like you said, with Megan being such a big image and a big idol in the community, a lot of women really felt strongly about this when Tory Lanez came out with his album. You see, he was taking
Because
off of the
it's
two
just
features with
disrespect.
Kalani.
Super
And-
tasteless.
It's just blatant disrespect.
Disrespect.
It is.
Yeah, it's a certain way to handle the situation. So I always say use the golden rule, treat others as you would like to be treated. So that's that. So that's enough of that juicy topic because it is time for us to get spiritually aligned and stop cutting off these no-gooders in our life. with Icywon.
I feel you there. I've got you. I have a minute to open your mind.
Yes.
I got a gift from the universe for you.
Receive.
A moment of understanding, your spiritual vitamin for the day.
Yes.
All right. So today we're going to talk about the heart chakra, or anahata, as it's talked about in the tribal practices of chakra studies. Women, please protect your hearts this month. Associate yourselves with affection, joy, love, happiness, compassion. Anahata is the energy that starts in the center of your soul, or your soul center. It spreads through your body and brings love to your life. It brings, ultimately, love is the healing force and the easiest pathway to happiness. So opening your anahata, opening your heart, is not going to just bring love to you, but it'll bring love to your work, to your personal life, to your friends, to your family. Invest in yourself with this chakra and watch it improve your life and your relationship with everyone around you.
I love it.
Yes.
Hey.
Now I just want to take a moment and really connect and understand with you guys. So I have a question. I want to know, what is your experience throughout your life with spiritual wellness and understanding?
My spiritual wellness had a lot to do with, I'm very analytical. So when it came to my spirituality, I had to study multiple religions to really grasp the different perspective of different cultures. Really understanding history in relation to religion, and also like more Eastern perspectives such as chakras and meditation and healing. Really combining a lot of what we would call Western religion, which would be like Christianity and Islam, in combination with a lot of Eastern religions I studied, really allowed for me to elevate spiritually and to be more like found with my meditation. Like before, I just really didn't know a proper way to meditate. And for me, meditation is not only for you to focus and become centered, but it's also a form of prayer to me when I'm trying to communicate with the Most High. It makes me... I feel like if you're doing it the right way, it's both the same. Because you're supposed to have like a real conversation with God.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be not necessarily talk to him like he's your homie or your friend, but you know, he knows you. So it's an unbiased, transparent conversation you're supposed to have with yourself, with the God inside of you, and ultimately the Most High at the same time. So
Yeah, that's beautiful and all very true. Although I will say, I don't pray either. I do like meditate, and I call that prayer. So I'll say like, I'll pray for you, and you know, I'm going home to meditate. But when I say I talk to God, like it's one of my homies.
yeah,
You feel me?
That's
Yeah.
I don't really know what's going on up there,
That's
and I
my
don't know what's going
thing.
down here either. So like, you know what I'm saying? Can we come to an agreement?
you're all knowing.
One of us.
So what's up?
You know what I'm saying? But I do feel that like you gotta take time and connect with yourself. What about you, Lavina?
For me, I will say I really like the word spirituality because I feel like it covers the basis of everything. Because I feel like religiosity and religion is something completely separate. That was something, you know, man-made and created. But I do consider myself spiritual, and I consider myself a believer. Now, I told you ladies before, like, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. Like, that's what I believe personally, and that helps me. But what I have been doing and implemented is I do meditate also. But I just do it with music that I feel like is positive, that is feeding my soul. And I do that. And then I also do yoga. So that's what I've been doing, like, in this time of, like, quarantine, to steady my mind, my body, creating a morning routine around the things that I believe that helps me just, like, set up myself to be the best that I could be. Like, I'm a wife, I'm a mom.
Yes.
I'm starting my own business. I feel like my mind is a million different places on any given day. And so to start my day, just like with meditation, and I do pray. So prayer, meditation, positive music, yoga, and it just kind of helps me, I feel like, center myself to a place where I can tackle and conquer what I need to do. And then it also just bridges a conversation, right? Because I feel like if you take it out of the spiritual connotation and you make it religious, it boxes you out from so many people.
Yes, it does.
It just puts like a block, like, because I can understand you by just saying like you're spiritual, like even if you say energy, if you say universe, if you say like Most High, whatever you say, I can connect because I know what I believe. But the minute I put something else in there, like something instituted, something that's a book, something that has to be like done this specific way, it removes the intimacy that we could potentially have, or the connection that we can have, because I'm putting a block up. So yeah, that's how I feel.
Yes, I'm very similar as far as Lavina in a sense of I believe in God, I believe in Jesus Christ. I'm very spiritual. I pray a lot. That is one thing that I do a lot.
Beautiful.
I don't meditate, but that is something that I'm looking into.
Well, we can meditate, girl. I got you.
Yes, like I am looking into that. I am just really big on prayer. I have a prayer box. I'm like turning something into a prayer room, which is kind of crazy, but it's just your space where you can speak to the Most High, and you know, and you can create those thoughts that only He knows, and I feel like sometimes He's speaking to me back.
Yes, 100%.
Sometimes.
Yes, but sometimes I don't hear anything, and that means something as well. So I'm very spiritual in that sense. I believe solely on, moving on God's wavelengths. And I mean, but the crazy thing about it, I'm open to other things. If it aligns with what I believe in, I'm open to it,
Awesome. Yeah, okay. So my spiritual experience is very different from a lot of people's in that my mother did not make me ever choose a religion. She let me know, like, yes, there's definitely probably a God. I don't know about him, but like, figure it out, and this is like my entire life.
Wow. So that's so different than almost anybody I know.
That's
That's
different.
different.
I do meet people that are like me, and we're all pretty similar in that we're all like, I don't care what you believe,
Right.
I don't care, believe what you want. I think that having some type of belief system helps you form morals, and that's important. So you know what I'm saying? So I would never ever hate on anybody for their religion. I don't like if somebody comes up to me and they're like, I'm Buddhist, I want to talk to you about Buddha. Like, please tell me about Buddha. I want to know your relationship with Buddha, because I'll never know that relationship. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, those sometimes what you're saying earlier about how it kind of like cuts off conversation, there's definitely like some blurred lines. I think that spirituality gives you the opportunity to kind of like open and make an actual conversation out of.
Right.
And so that's why I've chosen my entire life to just kind of never choose a religion. People ask me all the time, do you ever think you'll choose a religion? And like, no, I'll probably continue to study religions my entire life.
Right.
Like my mom, God rest her soul, rest in peace. She was studying Buddhism when she passed away, but before that was a Christian her entire life. She was Baptist, then she was non-denominational. Then we went to like a kind of like spiritual mix situation. We were like learning about this guy Ernest Holmes, who created. He worked with Emerson and Thoreau's idealism to create like his own version of spiritual science, which is just like the study of religions. And so from that, she was going Buddhist, and who knows where she would have went from there. You know what I mean?
Right. Free spirit. I love it.
Totally free spirited.
You learned so much, and dipping and diving into the different disciplines and the different religions. And I felt like, oh my God, like you said, I could normally never have. So like, the original Bible was written in Hebrew. So the only people who really know how to read Hebrew would be like Jewish or your Islam, your brothers from the Brotherhood, and they're not going to pick up the Bible. So it's like there's such this informational disconnect just from the translation from the Hebrew to the English with the Bible that I feel like only my Muslim brother would be able to tell me about, but he would never even tell me about that because the Quran prohibits him from ever picking up the book.
Exactly.
So many things like that just was like flabbergasting to me, even especially the role of the female in the different disciplines that I'm just look at this you will be surprised where those type of ideals come from. It has a religious source. So like you said, with a lot of the religions having more of like a man-made I say origin, and more so the spirituality, it just kind of, like you said, it helps you focus on the bigger picture.
Yes, because we're all person. We're all people. We're all people. We're like one race. We're the human race. And in that race, there's so many different types of people. Like we're always talking about color, and unfortunately, because we always talk about color so often, we break it down into black and white. But it's not just black and white. Nope. There's so many other colors. There's so many other races, ethnicities, etc. So the same with spirituality. There's so many things, and how can I blend in that race? there's so many different types of people. Like, we're always talking about color, and unfortunately, because we always talk about color so often, we break it down into black and white, but it's not just black and white.
Nope.
There's so many other colors, there's so many other races, ethnicities, etc. So the same with spirituality. There's so many things, and how can I blame somebody or you know, disagree with somebody from the way they were brought up or what they believe and what they're feeling and say that they're wrong? Because that's the only thing that I don't agree with.
Right.
I don't agree with telling anybody that they're wrong. Like me, like I said, I believe in Jesus, but I don't have the heaven or the hell to put nobody in. So it's not my business to be trying to tell you, you know, what to believe, what not to believe, and how to think. That's not me, because I'm not him. I have no problem with like listening and understanding, and with the like I said, I have started meditating, but what I learned is that meditation is just a word for what you're doing. It's action. It's whatever thing that you're implementing in that time for yourself that makes it specific to you. And that's what I think is important with spirituality, and especially you talking about the heart. It's whatever is making your heart feel full. Like you're talking about prayer room, prayer closet, like all those things is whatever is making your heart feel full to be able to give it to the rest of the world. So I love it.
To each his own. I love
Come
it.
on, Icywon.
I know. I'm thinking maybe next time we'll talk about meditation and like deeper meditation.
Oh, I like it. Yes.
I love it. Ideas, you guys.
I'm feeling it.
I like that.
I love it. So thank you so much, plugs and supporters, for tuning in with us today. Whether you're watching us here on YouTube or you're listening in via whatever platform you're using, because you know we are on all major platforms.
Yes.
Make sure, like I said, you follow us on all of our social medias. That is at Women Unplugged _ on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And of course, here on YouTube at Women Unplugged Podcast. We love you, and we'll see you guys soon.
Bye-bye.